There are times in our lives, and I am just as guilty of this as anyone, where we just put whatever on and walk out the door. We don't even bother to look in the mirror to see how things come together. I wanted to talk to you today about how to amend that because we're not putting our best foot forward when we go out the door like that. Today, I'm going to go over with you the differences between wearing and styling. Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Oralia, and yes, I'm going to talk with you a bit about how to walk out the door looking at your absolute best. Most importantly, because it makes you feel good, but also it really does make an impression on the people around you. It makes an impression on how people perceive you. And while that may seem unfair, we all do it, you included. I wanted to talk with you about how to make the best impression because you never know who you're going to run into while you're running out and about. It could be your boss, it could be a friend, it could be a pastor or someone from church, it could be anyone, even down to a total stranger. But I really want to drive home the point of dressing versus styling because it really does make a difference. When it comes to getting dressed and getting styled, putting on a little bit of makeup is one of the best things that you can do to help yourself look polished and pulled together. It doesn't have to be a full beat face. It doesn't have to be heavy foundation. As a matter of fact, I would say go with a minimal makeup, which is why I am so excited that today's video is being sponsored by Merit Beauty. Merit is one of my most favorite makeup or cosmetic companies because they are clean, they are natural, they just help me to create an effortless makeup look where I feel like it's my skin that's showing through, it's my natural beauty that's showing through, and that's why I really love them, and I always am happy to work with them because they're one of my absolute favorites. I started out with my skincare routine, my normal skincare routine, but I did add the Merit's Glow Skin Serum. Now that we are turning the corner into fall and winter, this is what my skin wants. My skin craves this serum because it is so lightweight and so moisturizing for my skin. And ever since going through menopause, I've got very dry skin, especially during the colder months. And so it is time for this gal to come out. And so I applied her as my serum today. I'm also pulling out the Merit Great Skin Moisturizer and Primer. These two work so well together. They are so good together. So I'm going to put on my moisturizer primer. I really like using this moisturizer and primer. It does such a good job and works so well with the remaining Merit products. They want you to be really quick when you apply the moisturizer and then you apply the next product. And the next product is going to be the Merit, the Uniform. I got this in the summer, and I have not stopped using it since, especially on my no makeup days. This is such a good product. I absolutely love it. I use about 2 pumps. I'm using my viewfinder as my mirror. I should really actually pull out my mirror. Let me go ahead and grab it. And I absolutely love this. I put it on the minute I opened it up and I haven't stopped using it since. I've talked about it a couple of times. This is just my absolute go-to. I like it, and I'm using a beauty blender. Yes, I know it's going to suck up most of the product, but I just can't use my fingers. I would say that using your fingers is probably the best way to apply this, but I just can't. I don't like having dirty fingers. I just really bothers me, and I'm not a makeup brush kind of gal either for foundation. I just don't like it. I'm just going to go ahead and just use my beauty blender because that's just the kind of tool that I prefer to use, and it works. On those days where I'm just, wanting to get out the door, I'm just doing a casual look and I want to look a little bit more polished, adding a little bit of minimal makeup is the way to go. I'm going to use the Merit complexion stick to kind of touch up in the spots, in some spots, because I've got some veining on my face, and then I also want to put a little bit of that here on my eyes. Oh, and I want to put a little bit here too, because you can use this all over the complexion, on the face and on the eyes as concealer. And so I want to go ahead and just for an extra little bit of coverage, and these two products work so well together. I just really love them. Now, I just said I don't like using my fingers, but for this, I think that yes, I will use my fingers just to help help the stick to melt into the skin. I do use a brush when I use a cream bronzer. I think that brushes help the bronzer to really blend in. This is in the color Sen. And by the way, the uniform, the shade that I use is shade number 16, which I believe it used to be named Suede. So I'm going to add a little bit of bronzer to my cheeks. And we're going to blend that in. It just blends in so seamlessly. And it just looks so natural. And that's what I really, really love about it. Because I don't like for my makeup to look like makeup. I think I'm going to use a little bit here. And maybe down that way. And then here and here. And that should do it. Again, because it gives such a natural shadow right there, and it just looks so good. And then just take the remainder and put it on the sides of my nose. I do need to set my face products because they'll just slip around like crazy. So I will be right back after I have powdered. Here's all the steps that I've done. I have set my face with powder. I have set the bronzer with the powder bronzer. I have also used a little bit of that powder bronzer to give my eyelids some definition. When I'm doing just a minimal makeup look, I always like to at least give my eyes a little bit of dimension with bronzer. Then I put on a little bit of eyeliner. It helps my eyes to be opened up. You know, it gives that open eye appearance. And then I've also curled and added a primer to my lashes, because the next step is using one of my favorite products from Merit, and that is the Clean Lash Mascara. I absolutely love this mascara. I think that this is one of my favorites. I think actually it is my favorite. And what I love about it is that it has a bristle brush, not a plastic brush. And there's just something about that that just feels so nice, and my lashes just love it. Now, what I really like about the Clean Lash Mascara is that it is a tubing mascara. So it, even with a primer underneath, it comes off pretty easily with water. So I don't struggle to get my mascara off at night when I'm taking my makeup off. But it does a really good job of helping to build my lashes. And on a day like this where I'm just doing minimal makeup, you know, where I'm just trying to look a little bit more pulled together, it is the perfect mascara for that, because it does such a good job with my lashes. And I just absolutely love it. It's, like I said, it's one of my favorites. There's just something so lovely about this brush that just makes me happy. So yeah, I give my eyelashes a couple of coats. And really, that's all I need, because it does it, for me at any rate, it does a really good job of lengthening and providing a little bit of volume so that my eyelashes don't completely disappear, but they don't look like little spiders either. I always have to have this mascara in the rotation because it is just so good. And I like the fact that it comes off very, very easily. When it comes to really minimal makeup like this, I think that it becomes really important to have a pop of color with your blush and your lipstick if you want to. Having that pop of color, it just brings life to your face, and it takes that minimal makeup look and just makes it look fresh and beautiful. So I've got several of the Merit Flush Balms, and they sent me another couple that I was excited to try. I have here Rouge, which is a beautiful red. Yes, it looks a little intimidating, but it actually looks so pretty. It gives you that on a cold day coming in from the outside kind of blush. Me, I tend to blush in a pinky red, so this is actually quite natural. The thing I love about Merit blushes is that you can put them on and they appear really dark, but they're actually quite forgiving because they blend beautifully into the skin, and you end up with this beautiful blush, and it's like a no-fail kind of blush in my opinion. And trust me, there have been times when I've overdone it on the blush, but then I just blend it away with my fingers and it blends in and it just looks so natural. These are like no-fail. The other shade that they sent me is this shade here that I'm so excited to try. It's called Persimmon. It's almost like a deep neutral peach kind of blush, almost like a terracotta, and I'm excited to try this. Now, generally what I do with my blushes is I don't like to apply them directly onto my face. What I will do in this case is I think I'm going to put it on my hand, and then I'm going to take a blush brush and put it on. And let me find my favorite I think I'm going to go with this little guy here. So I'm using this brush here, and I think I'm just going to put some on my palm. And look at that. That is such a beautiful, beautiful orangey kind of color. I'm going to pick it up with the brush, and then I'm going to place it. And it is just so, so pretty. So, so pretty. I love it. Oh, it is beautiful. And it just gives you just the right amount of color. And yeah, so beautiful. Oh my gosh, this is my new favorite. This is going to be my fall go-to blush because it is just so, so pretty. I apologize for the lighting. It's a rainy day today. We finally got rain here in the Pacific Northwest, and so it is quite cloudy and rainy. And since moving my vanity into my actual bedroom, the lighting's a little bit dark, but I think it works. All right, and I just love, love, love this blush. I think it is just the most beautiful formula, and this is usually one of my go-tos. So it gives you just a beautiful flushed look. I like to apply a little bit on my nose. And there you have it. Okay, so the one thing that you always get with Merit is with your first order, you get this beautiful little makeup bag, and I think it is so, so pretty. I've got a few of these, and I love using them to hold my Merit cosmetics. I'll use them to hold things like cords and just stuff, pens, you know, things like that. So they're multi-purpose. You don't have to use them as makeup bags. You could even use this as just a little pouch if you're going out and about, you know, to carry your phone, your wallet, and your keys. It's just such a pretty bag. And then I saw on their website today that they're collaborating with Brandon Maxwell. Brandon Maxwell is the mastermind behind Free Assembly and Scoop. And he's doing a collaboration with Merit on a makeup bag. I just saw it on the website today when I was on there. So you got to go and give your email address to be notified when that makeup bag is available. I know that I'm doing that because I love Brandon Maxwell. I do. And I'm curious to see what that's going to look like. But anywho, so I'm going to go with this lip liner from Merit. This is Bespoke. And I love the Merit lip liners. I have another one called Mayfair that I really love to use. And what I like about these is that they're very balmy, which means that if you do your entire lips, if you fill your entire lips in with the lip liner, it's going to feel like you have a lip balm on. I like to put the lip liner on after I have put on the lipstick because it helps to contour my lips. That's how I like to use these because they are so soft and balmy. So even if I go in beforehand, I can outline my lips and then I will blend it with my finger and then put my lipstick on, or I will put my lipstick on and then put the liner on, this liner on. And it just helps to provide a really beautiful, subtle contour to my lips, and I love that. And so that way it doesn't look like I'm wearing lip liner, even though I'm wearing lip liner. So Bespoke is the shade that I'm trying today. I'm going to go in with Classic. This is a signature lip, but it's in the velvet finish, I want to say, or their matte finish, their soft matte finish. I'm going to go with Classic because I think that it's going to look really good with Bespoke. And this to me feels like it's like the matte version of Millennial, which, you know, is my favorite shade of Merit lipstick. And I love the signature lip because they're very buildable. You can go as sheer as you want, or you can continue working it and completely cover the lips. So soft. Even though it's a matte, it is very, very, very soft. It feels so good. And then I like to go in with my lip liner afterward to do a little bit of contouring. And Bespoke is the perfect shade for this. It is a little bit of a deeper brown pink. I'm going to go in with Barrett's. This is a really pretty pink toned, kind of in the same lines as the lip that I'm doing. And I love, love, love their Shade Slicks. Oh, yeah. And right now my lips are very dry, so they could really use the moisture. And these Shade Slicks do the trick. And so I've got a beautiful nude lip. that I absolutely adore. It's perfect with this no makeup look. It looks really good with everything that I've done on my face. And yeah, okay, so that's the look. Had I not been talking with you about everything, it would have taken me 5 minutes to put this makeup on, and I could be out the door really quickly. I look pulled together. I look a bit finished. And I look like I'm ready for the day, even though it may just be a casual day. So that's the first thing that you should consider doing when it comes to just getting dressed versus styling and pulling yourself together. A quick minimal makeup and you're all set to go. I got mascara. When you just put on whatever and walk out the door, you're not really maximizing on an opportunity to really style yourself and to look really good. And it's really not all that hard. It takes all of 2 minutes and adding just a few pieces that make your look more intentional. That's the thing, is that you want to look intentional. Even though you have put in a little more effort, it also goes a long way to make you look effortless. So with that said, let's go ahead and let's dive into the first outfit. I got mascara. The first outfit is one that is probably going to be one of my go-tos for fall because I'm playing with the tones of fall and I'm wearing green and red here. When I'm just wearing it on its own, I don't put any thought into the shoes that I'm wearing. I don't really put any thought into how I'm styling it. I can walk out the door, of course. I'm not naked, and so it's acceptable. But do I look my best? I don't think so. I think that the look is very plain. I think it's very drab, even though I'm wearing some really beautiful colors. You could really take this palette and really push it to the next level with just changing a few things out and adding a few things. I'm wearing a pair of nude flats and there's nothing wrong with them. They actually do well with this look, but to me, they feel a little bit dowdy. What I did here is I tucked in my shirt, first of all. I also rolled up the sleeves. Those two little changes really go a long way in helping to amp up the look. I also added a belt to the outfit. I kept it at flats and decided to wear a pair of tan flats that went really well with the belt. So that added a little bit of cohesion to the look. I also added a watch. I added a necklace. I added some earrings. I added a bag as well, and I really like the way that this came together. Now, I could have done a tan bag to go with the belt and the shoes. I want to be intentional, not contrived, and I felt that that was a little bit too contrived. So instead, I went with a red bag to match the skirt. This look has a lot more polish. Really, it didn't take very long to pull this together. All I did was I tucked in the shirt, I added a belt, and I added some jewelry. And this is an easy way to level up your look so that you look a little bit more pulled together. You look a bit more cohesive. You definitely look a lot more polished. Also, I think you look a little bit more slender. I really, really, really like this outfit, the way that I styled it. And that's the difference when you take the time to add a few bits and pieces to really make a difference with the outfit. Outfit number 2 is this monochromatic look. I am wearing a navy blue cashmere sweater with a navy blue silk skirt and a pair of navy blue kitten heel mules. On its own, it looks fine. A monochromatic look always looks really pulled together. It looks really nice, and you do look like you're dressed up a little bit because you've got a mix of textures with the shoes and the skirt and the cashmere sweater. But I felt that I could level it up a little bit more. I added a belt, and what I did was I put the belt on top of the sweater, and then I pulled the sweater out to make it look like it was a half tuck, but it's half tucked into the belt so that I avoid the bulk underneath the silk skirt. And with silk, you do have to be careful, and satin, you have to be careful with tucking in or half tucking because it will add bulk to that area. But when you tuck it into the belt and you just kind of pull most of the sweater out and let it hang out in the back, you do give that illusion of a half tuck, but it's not really. The belt adds a lot to the look. Again, it adds a focal point. It adds a bit of styling. I think it also helps to define my waist and give me a bit more of a shape. I left the shoes as is, but I introduced a bag, and with the bag, I added a scarf. And I think that that in itself is such a cool style trick. Now, you could wear the scarf with this outfit, and that would have also helped to zhuzh it up a bit, but I decided to put it on the bag just because I really liked the way that looked. And then I added some jewelry, of course. I had a watch on. I added a ring this time around. I added a crystal necklace and my earrings, of course. All of this together feels good to me. It really feels polished. It feels very sophisticated. It definitely feels like I put a little bit more thought into my outfit, and it really didn't take long at all to do this outfit. This one is a beautiful one for the office. It's also a really pretty one to wear on a date night or a special something that you have to go to because of the sheen of the skirt. I've seen so many people at the airport just looking like they didn't even try. You know, they just look like they just threw on whatever because it's a travel day and they don't care and they just want to be comfortable. Travel is one of those times, especially when you're traveling by air or even by train, is one of those times when you want to look your best. Now, I get it that it's travel and all you want to do is be comfortable, especially if you have a long haul flight. But when you dress sloppily at the airport, it really makes a difference in how you're treated, as unfair as that sounds. Now, the first outfit, just the regular outfit, I'm wearing a cashmere hoodie and I've got a tank top underneath and loungy type pants on and a pair of sneakers. I've got just some rando bag that I picked up and I just shoved all my stuff into it. I've got my hair up in a bun. I didn't really take the time or care to put my hair up or do anything with it. I've got no jewelry on. I am just looking like I look tired. I look tired. I look unkempt. In the styled look, I changed my hair first of all, because just like makeup, hair has a big difference on how people perceive you. So I changed my hairstyle. I put it half up, half down so that way it's out of my face and I don't have to deal with it, but I still look like I tried to do something with my hair. And then I zipped up the hoodie. I zhuzhed up the sleeves. I added a piece of jewelry that was not going to cause any issues through the metal detector. It's a crystal that's on a cord. I am wearing my New Balance sneakers. The Sambas that I was wearing before are fine. They would have been okay too, but I like the New Balance sneakers because they just have a little bit of something extra, and they go well with the athleisure pants. These are the Spanx Air Essentials that I'm wearing, and I am wearing a pair of sunglasses. You could be wearing your regular glasses as well. I just thought that I would throw on some sunnies because I'm going on vacation. I have a much better bag. I've got this beautiful bag from Nomad Lane that was gifted to me. Thank you, Nomad Lane. I feel so much better, especially if you're traveling internationally. You don't want to stand out as an American, and this will help you to blend in a little bit better. This is one, very, very comfortable. Two, really easy to wear, and three, it looks polished and pulled together. You look like you know where you're going. You look like you are one of the jet set, so to speak. You just look more polished and pulled together when you wear an outfit like this, when you take the time to dress up a little bit. And I guarantee you, you're going to notice that you will get treated a lot better. Now, you could take this one level up, which I didn't, but you could add a blazer to the look and that would really elevate it. And that would really make you look like you're going through first class travel. So take the time to make sure that your bags look good, that you look polished and pulled together. Just because everybody else is walking around in their PJs and Uggs and all of that stuff at the airport doesn't mean that you have to. You can still be comfortable and you can still be very, very stylish. In all of these looks, all you have to do is add a few pieces to look a bit more intentional in your outfits and to look a bit more polished and pulled together. It really doesn't take that much effort to do. I hope that I was able to convey that to you today. Thank you to Merit for sponsoring today's video. I guess since we ended on a travel note, and I've got travel on the mind because I am going to be traveling soon to Los Angeles, I'm going to leave you with my travel capsule wardrobe video right here. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I truly appreciate it, and I hope to see you in that video. Bye. It's alright.